Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me spend some time with you. If you're listening to this when I put it out on Monday, I hope you survived the snowpocalypse or whatever they're calling this one. It has a name, but it's weather. You're not going to change it. Before I get too far into what I'm going to talk about, don't forget to like, share, subscribe things. You know the drill. Just have to remind people to do that. How many times have we heard something similar? It sounds like, oh, we have this new information and it changes what we thought we knew. We hear it in the news every day. We hear it from doctors. Well, caffeine not good for you. Caffeine's good for you. Coffee's not good for you. Grapefruit's not good for you. Eggs aren't good for you. And all of a sudden, all this stuff's okay. We hear it from scientists all the time. Global warming became climate change. All those good things, right? We see it in our own relationships. The information's always been there, but for some reason we refuse to give it credibility. We don't want to believe it. We think things will change, things will get better. We overlook things about people that irritate us. And then when we get married, sometimes those little things that we overlooked come back to haunt you. That information was already there. It was in plain sight. But we ignore it for whatever reason. Maybe we think people can change, and some people can. Maybe we thought it wasn't important, and maybe it wasn't until it became important, right? There's some things we just get wrong. Because we really didn't examine all the information we had available. I'll use this example. The one world order is going to destroy the earth. And that can be attributed to a passage from Revelation and the mark of the beast. Now, over the centuries, this mysterious one world order has been thought to be all kinds of different groups. There was the Knights of Templar, the Masonic Lodge, the League of Nations, the United Nations. And this past week, we witnessed something that possibly could bring an end to the United Nations. And that's the formal formation of the Board of Peace. And why do I say that? Well, the United States has withdrawn from the World Health Organization now. That's part of the United Nations. And a lot of people think that this is going to signal the U.S. slowly removing itself from the United Nations. That news makes some people very happy. It makes other people worry. So it's kind of easy to see how misinterpreting the information we have, even when it's recent and current, it shapes our thoughts. It shapes how we think about things. Now, biblical prophecy is much, much older. And yes, it has been abused by some and misunderstood by many. And for almost 2,000 years, Christians have been trying to force biblical prophecy to bend to their beliefs. But the word of our Creator cannot be forced to bend to the will or ideas of mankind. Let me say that again. The words of our Creator will not be forced to bend to the will or the ideas of mankind. Trying to claim what some prophetic event is without the knowledge or understanding of the language that it was originally written in, or understanding the context of the people it was written for, would result in incorrect interpretation. And I'm not dancing around this. I'm saying there's some things we could probably very easily have gotten wrong over the years. For instance, I've argued that the political nation of Israel today does not fit the prophecy we read in Isaiah about a nation being built in a day. Now, was it? Yes, but is it the right one? That's the question. And I'm not the only one that's questioning that. There's others out there that are, is this really the Israel that was being spoken of by Isaiah? The nation of Israel was originally a kingdom, right? Very easy. Our Creator was a king. At first, he spoke directly through Moses. And then after Moses died, people went into the land, and there was a period of the judges. When Samuel was old, the people didn't trust his sons, and they said, look, you're going to have to appoint a king. We need a king. We want to be just like everybody else. And we read in the prophets that Israel will become a kingdom near the end of the age. Well, that doesn't fit Israel today, because Israel today is a parliamentary democracy. So there's that, right? Now, there are some who believe that when Israel was granted recognition as a nation in 1948, it's going to usher in the end of the age. Not sure that's the best way to interpret that. Just, it could be wrong. It could be wrong. And there's a lot of things that we might not get right. Let's just put it that way. The question is, does it matter? Does it really matter when the end of the age is? Does it matter? I'm not saying it doesn't matter that Israel's a nation right now. I'm saying, does the type of nation it is right now matter? Overall, on the world stage, not really. You see, when we are living the way we are designed to live, when we are showing others the benefits of that lifestyle, when they become encouraged to do the same, isn't that much more important than whatever might be going on as the world turns, so to speak? And I'm reaching back for some of these older TV shows here, okay? I really am. I'm trying. Isn't our actions as people who trust our Creator and use us in a way that destroys evil? Just as Job, he trusted God. He was trusted to face Satan, right? He was that's what it says in Job. The enemy, Hasatan, comes walking through the throne room. God says, where you been? I've been walking on the earth. And they have that conversation. And then God says, well, test Job. Just go test Job. See what he has. See what he does. You see, not only did Job trust God, God trusted Job because he knew Job's faith was strong. Now, I'm not trying to convince you that we don't need to pay attention to what's going on in the world. We, of course, do. We have to. When we stay informed, we learn how to respond properly to what's going on around us. We don't have to be afraid of it. And we certainly don't have to wish for the end to come sooner. Remember Amos 5:18. Woe to you who long for the day of the Lord. What will the day of the Lord be for you? It will be darkness, not light. See, nobody thinks about that part of it. Oh, it'll get better when Jesus comes. I don't know about that. You might want to read some of these passages a little more carefully. See, when we read them in English only, it sounds good until you start looking at it. We are here in this time just like everyone before us was in their time. And you hear that, from Esther all the time. She was born for such a time as this. And so were we. Oh, we're here in this time for such a time as this. Well, what's my purpose? It's easy. It's easy. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, another old television reference there, is to be an example for others by living the way our Creator designed us to live every day. We don't have to worry about the future. We don't know what the future may bring. We don't dwell in the past because we can't change that. But we do have the ability to live in the present and do be instructions from our Creator, because He's the one that tells us what is right and what is wrong. If we do His instructions and follow His word, it pleases Him. It's when we don't do His instructions and we go our own way, He gets angry. Nobody likes an angry Creator. Just saying. So are the things we thought we knew going to change? Yeah, they're going to change. They're going to change. Just like the League of Nations became the United Nations, just like when people, what was it, 1700 years ago, looked at the Knights of Templar and said, oh, they're going to rule the world. No, they're not. Their time has passed. Their time has passed. What's coming? We don't know. All we do know is that there will be something. And you will definitely recognize it when it gets here. But if we spend all our time worrying, what good is it? Is it really going to matter? Think about that. I know somebody who was worried years ago about all these self-proclaimed prophets. The world's going to end on this date. The world's going to end on that date. Let them make fools of themselves. Their time will end. Their time will end. Don't worry about it. But they became so obsessed with it, that was their course of study. Didn't change a thing. All they did was upset a lot of people. That was it. That was the result. That was the result. Some things are going to change, some things won't, because some things we might have right. But much like a young child learns by receiving more information, we continue to learn, not so that we are arrogant and reject information that we're not familiar with, but that we look at the information that's been there all along and respond appropriately. But continuing to follow the instructions, continuing to live the way we're designed to live. That is just something to think about for a week. If you haven't been to GiveGod90.com lately, you might want to check that out. It's kind of new, new look, new feel, all that good thing. The books are available at authorjerrymitchell.com, right? Advertisements are done for the day. Don't worry about not getting it right. I know a lot of kids who, used to think 2 + 2 = 5. It's okay because they learned. I know a lot of people who used to have all kinds of various beliefs, and some of them figured out, this might not be quite what I thought it was. Some of them didn't. Some still like to live in a fantasy world, and there's still people who believe in Santa Claus. But anyway, what we thought we knew might not be quite the way it really is. Something to think about. And until next time, many, many blessings, everyone.